Hello and welcome to Eagle 96.9. This evening we have Professor Ian Brown on the telephone to give us some insight on the sad truth of suffering. How are you today, Ian?
Great, how about you?
Why, thanks for asking. I am doing better than ever. This evening we are going to discuss the serious topic of suffering in the poor and how it has changed from the Victorian times. So, Ian, what was suffering of the poor like in the Victorian times?
Well, it was much different than how it is today. In Victorian times, many people suffered from being poor. They were poor because, back in the Victorian times, many people couldn't find a job, much less keep one. Families were scraping around for money. Men made pennies as porters, boys could hold horses' heads while the driver took a break, or sell newspapers or fast food in the streets that did not make a profit. Some even collected dog turds that they sold for barely anything. If people could not make enough money, though, some resorted to crime.
I have heard that in 1848, 30,000 homeless, filthy children lived on the streets. Also, streets would have flooded with foul water, which was sometimes the only source of drinking water. This led to diseases such as chickenpox, tuberculosis, smallpox, etc. Many more starved. After a quick music break, Ian will answer what the suffering of the poor is like now.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
Welcome back to the evening show. So, Ian, what is suffering of the poor like now?
Today, the poor have an air-conditioned house or apartment, a TV, a car, and many more things. Nowadays, few people actually live on the streets and have nothing.
For the people on the streets that have diseases, now have a way to come back and get better from those diseases. Right, Ian?
That is correct. Medications and vaccines have developed, and now most diseases now have a cure. But for the people who don't have the money, the cure still has to go through tough times.
Thank you, Ian, for answering those questions.
Of course.
You have all heard what he had to say, but if we don't keep helping the poor people, the situation will only get worse. Think about it. If that was your child on the street without money, and if you did not help, they would either catch a disease or die from starvation. What if no one helped them? They would die. Also, do you really want poor people dying on the side of the road? Or do you want to see our streets clear of poor people? So, when you see a poor person on the street, stop and help them. Every time you do so, you may save one life. Help us put an end to suffering and never let it go back to the horrible way it was before. Now, Eagle 96.9, back to the music.
Don't stop, make it pop.